Magandang umaga po. Mabuo tayo lahat. Okay yung kulay ng uniforme nyo. Dalawa lang kami ni Henry, hindi marunong yata makisama. Maganda ho, nagkatipon-tipon tayo dito. Nakita ko po yung mga mukha ng ating magiging mga kasangga, katulong sa pagpapasa ng mga batas na talaga namang magiging kabuti-buti kanya-kanya sa ating po mga kababayan. Sa kabilang panig po, pag di tayo nagtagumpay, nakikita ko na po mga mukha ng sisisihin ko pag hindi natin naipasa ang ating mga batas. I have to take off my glasses. Oops, I'm sorry. Let us not do with all the formalities. Secretary Dondon Padaranga, Secretary Tony Roman, Chairperson Eta Rosales, Dr. Jacqueline Badcock, participants and organizers of the learning workshop on the legislative process, lobbying and the human rights-based approach to legislation and policy development. Fellow workers in government, mga minamahal ko pong kababayan, magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Sa paghahanda ho sa talumpating to, pinakuha ko po yung kopya ng The Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Okay, maglala, hindi ko po babasahin yung 30 artikulo ng Universal Declaration of Human Rights. But maybe I just point out two. I'll start out with Article 24. Article 24 says, everyone has the right to rest and leisure, including reasonable limitation of working hours and periodic holidays with pay. Yeah. Except the President of this Republic. Secretary Abad told me about a month ago, and he found out. He went through various papers. He said, "Sir, do you realize that when you retire by June 30, 2016, you will have worked in government or in public service for 18 years? 18 and a half, I think, was the computation. Unfortunately, we have a law that says you will be entitled to a full pension only upon 20 years of service. Therefore, you will not get a full pension when you retire." Then I asked him how long he will be in government service by that time. Then he said, 19 and a half years. So I also will not be entitled to a full pension, nor a holiday, nor holidays, and reasonable limitation on working hours. But that's okay. Let me go on to the more serious matter now. In Article 21, subsection 3, it states, the will of the people shall be the basis of the authority of government. And that is precisely why we are here, why we are meeting here today. There are so many laws crafted for so many vested interests, that unfortunately redounded to the suffering, the downgrading of the living standards of the vast majority of our populace. That is why we do need a focus. A focus that all legislation should be beneficial to all people or all our peoples, preferably all of the time. That has to be the overarching concern. That has to be the overriding theme. And that is why there is a need for this particular session or session days that you will be spending in Subic. I'm sure you will have some leisure time there. Hopefully, you'll just remember us when you're there. And in that process, you will be actually the active agents in attaining that betterment of our people's lot by primarily doing your function to be that legislative liaison that will get all of our legislators fully on board, fully supportive, and have that idea of a unified populace or the unified government structure headed towards the betterment of our people's lives. When one peruses the Declaration of Universal Declaration of Human Rights, one can readily see the progress that we have achieved over the decades. That the goals, one has to look at this article as goals that have to be attained. And we have actually attained quite a number of those that were mandated there. They are no longer abstractions. They are no longer a wish list. They are realities for our people. But like anything made by man, they can still be improved. Over the next 4 years and 11 months, those of us in public service will continue to work extra hours for the Filipino people to show them that we can indeed reach the Philippines they envisioned when they cast their votes in May of 2010. One where public service and leaders is the norm. One where we can all work and make progress towards similar goals. And one where the Filipino people come first. But let's be realistic. Working towards this change is a difficult job, one that promises us long nights at office, less time for leisure, and less time with our families. And yet, if we truly want to make this change felt, this is a job we have to do. We have to show our people that if they work hard, they can go home to full plates on their dining tables, in houses of their own. That if they toil, there is the assurance of quality health care. That if their children work hard in school, they will be aptly equipped with the skills they need to succeed in life. We have made good progress in these areas, but as I have said countless times before, we still have a long way to go. So as much as we are proud of what we have achieved, we still find the pressing need to get back to work. I don't have to tell all of you just how vital your jobs are in practicing good governance. Much of what we have to do in the next 4 years and 11 months requires legislation. Consequently, we can say the success of this administration is dependent on the cooperation of Congress. We will be sending them bills on a regular basis, and we need to make certain that they understand the importance of the measures we will be proposing. This workshop is expected to give you the critical lobbying and advocacy skills that will enable you to use the relations we have with Congress to energize the bureaucracy and improve the way we serve our bosses. So as your president, allow me to say today that I am putting my faith in all of you, that you will learn as much as you can in the next 3 days, and that you will work even harder in the future to do your part in creating an effective government. I know that we have a majority in the House, and that we do have friendly relations with the Senate leadership. But we cannot take these relationships for granted. We must nurture and enhance them, as we cannot afford a situation where the executive and the legislative branches of government are at odds. Through the cooperation of both branches of government, we have already seen some successes. We have passed some bills, all with a view of improving the situations of our countrymen across the archipelago. For example, it has only been more than a month since I signed the bill synchronizing the ARM elections with the national and local elections. This is a bill that we are confident will end the culture of impunity that has reigned in ARM for so long. 2 months ago, I signed the GOCC Governance Act to make sure that our GOCCs are working not for the benefit of those at their helms, but for the benefit of the entire Filipino people. We have also extended the measures that allow some of our less fortunate citizens access to more affordable electricity. We have spared women night workers from the unnecessary hassle of having to apply for exemptions. We have passed a bill requiring government to give free and mandatory immunization for vaccine-preventable diseases to all children under 5 years of age. Not to mention the recent bill I signed requiring all state agencies to release retirement benefits within 30 days after an employee retires. Let this be statements of intent, that step by step we will improve the lives of each and every one in De La Cruz. Rest assured, these small triumphs will serve as even more reason for us to improve our service to our bosses by passing even more bills that respond to their concerns, and by passing bills that respect the rights of each and every Filipino and of each and every person. I'm hopeful that as you participate and contribute in this workshop, you will keep in mind our countrymen. After all, the way we perform our duties as public servants affects their quality of life. At the end of the day, the way you do your jobs affects the child who has to walk barefoot to class every day. It affects the father who has to work 3 jobs to raise 5 children. It affects the ailing grandmother whose family cannot afford decent health care. They are depending on us to win back their hopes and aspirations. They are depending on us to allow them to achieve their greatest potentials. Let us not let them down. Failure definitely is not an option. Thank you. Good day.
Thank you, Mr. President. May we request for a photo opportunity with the President.